Oh, look what I got. I got a beer. I got a nice ruby beer, a bit like the left ruby. And I do like it. So, blimey. Welcome to my workshop. I hope you can hear me. Let me know in the comments if you can. And I want to talk about fishing. Sorry, it's getting a bit of a kind of a comical subject. As everybody seems to be, well, rattling everybody else's cage. Saber rattling, that's what they're doing. My boat's bigger than your boat. No, you can't have it back. Hello, son of Viking, how you diddling, mate? Oh. Does he move? Yeah, there you go. you got to pull the cord in the back. Yeah, what on earth is going on? Well, the latest is that another 75 odd fishing licenses have all of a sudden been awarded by Jersey to the French fishermen. I wonder why that is. Well, we had fake Lord Frost, there he was, talking to, Sewage regarding the protocol and various other issues. But then, well, they have their little threat then, you see. But not to the French, no. To the EU. I wonder why that is. Yeah. I think he's confused, is Lord Frost. And part-time gimp. Anyway, welcome to my workshop. And I want to give you a little tour as well. So, I'm going to just move you on to this thing here. So I can wobble it about with me. And yeah. What's going on here? Oh, somebody said something. What do you say? So many tools. Oh, yeah. I wish I could fix Brexit. I don't think it's possible. Brexit, its DNA is broken. It was made broken. It was developed broken. Nigel Farage has really broken it. End of the day, he goes, up the Ra and all that, doesn't he? Anyway, this is my little workshop. My workshop's split into, there's 3 separate workshops here. And the reason why I got them split up is because it gets cold in the winter, and these are old barns. So, yeah, it makes sense to have this one here, which I can heat quite easily. And then I've got my other barn over the other side of our little driveway. And we use that for, like, processing wood and what have you. But this particular one is the one I do most of my little stuff in. It's about 11 metres long by 5.5 metres wide internal. So, what we have in here, we have my table saw. So I cut my bits of wood on here, and this is a jet super saw, 10-inch. So it's not particularly big, but it's big enough for what I need. But it's a cast iron top, which I really like, because things just glide over the top of it. And then over here, we have, a surfacer and thickness plane. But I only use it as a surfacer. I've got a jointer for in the other workshop as well, which has got a lot longer bed on it. And here we have my thicknesser that I use. Well, it's an old multi-coat thicknesser. And it's absolutely brilliant. I have fitted a digital height adjustment on it as well. See that? Which is brilliant. That works really, really, really well. So it's a really, really good machine. And then I've got 2 little band saws, one over here and one over there. And then we've got my pillar drill. Over here, bring over here. I've got my lathe. And I do actually use a lathe quite a lot. I made 12 platters for a customer recently. They looked like a wooden tray thing to go underneath a plate in walnut. All very nice, but pointless really. But there you go. You could be short, I'm short, so it doesn't make a lot of difference to it really. I don't care. Call me what you like. Too long in the tooth to care. You could make a living, yeah. I do it right here, to be honest, or did before Brexit anyway. What am I going to build? Well, not today, but I will. What I was planning to do is, in my live shows now, I'm going to have a little project on the go at the same time. That was my idea. We talk about Brexit and various other stuff at the same time. I thought it was quite funny. They did like on the old Goggle Box yesterday. I wasn't watching, the missus was watching it. Maybe I should have watched it. And they did like a bake-off thing, but for carpentry. And these guys were like doing this, the impossible dovetail. Yeah, the impossible dovetail joint. It's actually a Japanese joint. And God, didn't they make a hasher? One young lad did quite well, but to be fair, under pressure, so I thought he did pretty well. Do things like that, And, talk about stuff to actually, you know, bring another dimension to what we're doing. But I've got all sorts of stuff going in there. I've got that's my soldering iron, which I use quite a lot. Over here is my pyography. That's wood burning, basically. And over here, that's the pyography iron. Various grinders for sharpening. Got another bench grinder over there. Another bandsaw. So I've got one bandsaw there. Got another bandsaw over there. Different size blades. And my wood burner. Yes, this is my wood burner. And I made that out of old wheels. Is it a bit Daft Punk, eh? I don't know if there's anything. Is it a light still? Oh, and it's still a light. Look at that, see? Ah. And it works a treat as a sawdust burner. So how that works is this weird kind of thing going on here. Oh, sorry, there you go. This vent here. You allow more air in, and you can shut the air off. What that does is it goes into the fire, into the middle of the fire. So you can fill this up with sawdust, but because it's getting oxygen still, you can burn sawdust. It doesn't smother the fire. Works really, really well. And I made that. I did. You won't believe how many welding rods I used on that. Oh my giddy aunt, it went on forever. I actually made a video about that, actually. It's crazy. And a machine that you might not know, but I use one hell of a lot, is this one. Now this is a Fez tool. The Fez tool, they're kind of like the Rolls Royce of machines. Power tools, basically. So, this thing here is a domino dowler. And it is one of the machines that if it went wrong tomorrow, I'd order one the next day. Because I use it so much. And what it does is basically it creates two oval holes which these can fit into. Now, it's like a tenon. That's what it is. It's a loose tenon. So you've got the mortise and tenon joint, but you have two opposing holes, a bit like when you do a dowel, for instance. Works really, really well. I really like it. And it's a really good bit of kit. But expensive. Really expensive. It's about 1,400 euros, that is. A bit scary at the time. I was like, am I making a mistake here? And God me, I've used that so much. There's one of my clamp walls. So, yeah, I do have a few clamps. I have just under 500 clamps in total, not all on there. Some of them in here, some in the other workshop. I've got loads and loads of F-clamps everywhere, because I use a lot of them for doing laminating. You know, when you glue lots of bits of wood together. And various other larger F-clamps, sash clamps, bar clamps, some big old record sash clamps here. Loads and loads of G clamps. I've got loads more of them in the other workshop. And got my little rotor table, which I made, which has got a Triton rotor in it, which is quite good because you have the height adjustment of the Triton rotor, which you do for the top, which is really... Oh, so you can see that, sorry. This is my rotor table. I'll start again. This is my rotor table, and it's got a little Triton rotor in the bottom there. I think it's an MI01 or something, or MO2. And the beauty about it is you can height adjust from the top. Works really, really well. Ideal for a rotor table. And then I've got various other rotors here. The Makita one that I use all the while. And if you're watching me on Ginger Island, the rotor that was made by a company called Total, or branded as Total, is a copy of one of the Makita rotors. And to be fair, it wasn't a bad rotor actually. A little bit chonky, but this is far more refined. I've got various other rotors there. My battery drill station. Yes, I've got lots of battery drills, as you do. And on the top here, that thing up top there, that's what I use to sharpen my circular saws. Yeah, it sharpens tungsten carbide circular saws. So I don't always have to send them off. So basically what I do is I do up to 5, maybe 6 sharpens on a circular saw blade. If it isn't buggered at that point, I then send it off to be resharpened at a proper saw doctor. And I've got various other things in here that I obviously use. Sanders, drills, my jigsaw, my Bosch jigsaw. Good bit of kit that one is with the round body. Various other grinders. Got a diamond grinder, another diamond grinder there, angle grinders. That one I use when I do fiberglass cutting. That one I do when I do grinding back concrete. And the other one I use when I'm cutting metal. And then, I've got various jigs. If you watch me in Ginger, you know I like my jigs. So I've got various jigs up the top there that I use on a regular basis. Yeah, just make it myself. What's the point of making life hard for yourself when you can make something to make life easier? And this is a radial arm saw. So basically it's a circular saw on a rail. Like so. So I'm going to turn it on here. Yep, and cut my bit of wood. It works a treat. Now, there's lots of kind of quirky things going on in this workshop because I like to find solutions to problems. And one problem is dust. Major problem is dust in any workshop. Anyway, let's see what you guys are saying before I mumble on. Ah, that's a good idea. Yes, I got jigs for hinges as well. Our hinge is a little bit different to your hinges in the UK. We have like a long sort of hinge. I could probably show you actually because I've got some in one of them boxes. But you got your like 3-inch, 4-inch butt hinges, what have you, in the UK. Well, they have a drop-on type hinge, which is really easy to fit with a router because the end's are round. So it really suits it. So it's a very good idea. Always use jigs whenever you can. I don't know about that. There's some really nice workshops here, locally to here as well. Really big, really lovely set of workshops. But for me, I don't need that. This suits me down to the ground, what I was doing. And my manual was making windows, doors, some quite big doors actually, in fact, some big old studded doors, and shutters. Now, the thing I make them, well, you was making the most money on was shutters. I used to make good money on shutters because it's so quick. I jigged up for it, and I used to knock them out 10 a penny. I could earn ridiculous money with those. That was silly. But Brexit's killed it for me, so I'm doing YouTube videos instead. Cool, whatever. Eh? So, yes. What have we got on here? Hello, in Bavaria. Aha, yeah, fishing. My God. Okay, well that's that. That's my little workshop. I might go back to it, I might not. And there's obviously my tool cabinet. It's got a variety of different chisels and hand planes and what have you. There's the stuff I've collected over quite a long period of time. But fishing, oh my giddy aunt. What the hell can we say about that? Brexit. That's what we can say about fishing. Brexit. Oh my God. It has been the centre of the argument for and against Brexit from the outset. And look what's happening. We've got boats being seized by the French. We've now got George Eustace threatening the French and the EU with, well, their version of sanctions, but what can they do? What can the UK really do against the EU when it's so reliant on its imports? I don't know about you, but I'm a bit concerned for my kids. I want them to get fed, for Christ's sake. 70% of all imports, food imports, come from the EU. So what do you guys think about that? Are you concerned that... Hey, Mad Monk, hey, Dylan. Darren. Yeah, if only I could take this workshop to Ginger Island, that would have made a huge difference. Speed things up no end. Maybe I could have done a job that I'd been proud of. Because it was a bit chonky, a bit rough around the edges. And one thing that really bugged me, I might have said, was the electrics. That was painful. That really was painful. Having to reuse what, all intents and purposes, well, garden cable with all the lighting circuits. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. False economy, in my opinion. Absolutely false economy. I had that discussion with Graham, obviously, and, just let him get on with it. All I could do is try and make it as safe as I possibly can. At least we put earths in and stuff like that, and fuse the cabling. Because the problem is, what people don't seem to understand or realise about the cabling in your house is you fuse your cable, your fuse box, your consumer unit is fused for your cables, not your appliance. So if you've got a cable that's capable of 20 amps, well, then you've got to fuse it within that. Put a miniature circuit breaker in that, but within that range. You don't put 25 amps when your cabling can only handle 20 amps. It's not a good idea. it can cause a fire, you know. So I had to solder in a little thinking a little inline fuse into the lighting circuit. Otherwise, I couldn't get the fuse rating down low enough. Just half the stuff wasn't available there. It had to be ordered in if you can get it still. So that was a bit. The place is just well. I was very uncomfortable with that, to say the least. Oh, thank you very much. Got a super chat. Blimey. Oh, thank you. I have to do that. Not why I do this, but you know, it's very, very kind. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Who was that? It's only. I don't know. Don't say. Tom, Eric Stewart, Ellie DeVillet, Eric, and Skunkette. What the hell? So, I don't know how you feel about this, but I just think it's. What you say? Oh, son, what you're saying, mate? Toys will never ever again use French letters. Not patriarchal. Oh, you rude man, you. Oh God, yeah, my name's Marcus. I let the meat cake. Well, but I don't want people to suffer. No. One day the shoe might be on the other foot. You don't know, do you? We should look after each other, really. And not everyone voted for Brexit. Not everyone wanted this. This is just madness. Yes, you're right. The BBC Parliament is full of tools, Mad Monk. You are very, very right. Yeah. And don't forget, we've got fake Lord Frost as well, part-time gimp. You know, he's out there waving his saber at the EU to attack the French. Ain't gonna work. No, it ain't gonna work at all. I've got to give Mac one of his dues. All the way along, he's stuck to his guns. He don't generally back down on much. And I know that George Useless, there he is trying to say that it's all about Macron's very difficult election coming up, which it might have some truth in it. You know, I can't guarantee it's not. But frankly, he's just looking for things. Oh wow, Darren, thank you very much. It's Friday night. Have a drink. I will. Hello, Peter. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, I'm not doing this for super chats, but if you obviously it's really, really appreciated. So, just touch base really, because as you probably know, I've been in a bit of bit stuck on an island somewhere, and it's I'm a bit disorientated to say the least. I come back. I got back to home on Monday. I left on last Friday. So it's a week since I left Ginger Island. And by the way, I like to let you know there's plenty of fish there. That there are, and actually quite reasonably priced. But just don't buy salt. No, if you buy salt in Bogus Town, for instance, a bag of salt, about half a kilo, not even half a kilo of salt. You can't buy it in the little tubs. No, little shakers to put on your fish and chips. No, you have to buy a great bag. And even that. Yeah, even here in France, a bag like that costs you like 40 centimes or something. It's just, like 35p for a bag of salt. But not there. It's like $4 for a bag of salt. Everything there was really, really expensive food-wise. I do not, for the life of me, understand how the locals can afford it because they've got nothing. There's a lot of poverty there. There is a lot of poverty, in my eyes anyway. Yeah, they might not see it that way because they all seem happy, But it's when times get difficult and you need money in a hurry. Let's say, for instance, medical costs or something like that. You can't. They find it really difficult to be able to. Well, they don't. They just suffer. Like Ishmael on Ginger Island, he was suffering. And to be fair to Graham he paid for Ishmael to have a tooth removed. Which I thought was quite kind. I did tell him that as well at the time. He's a lovely guy, Graham, actually. He has got issues, though. Sorry, Graham, if you're watching. You're probably not. You don't really watch anything. But, yeah. So we've got France threatening the UK over these fishing licences, which they say was a part of the TCA, which it was, the Trade and Cooperation Agreement. Then all of a sudden, Jersey is saying we have requirements after everything was agreed, but Jersey didn't come under, so I believe, under the same jurisdiction. Jurisdiction, is that the right wording? Probably not. Same rules, maybe, the same. Oh, what's it called? Like devolved government sort of thing. You know, they can make their own choices, really. So they did. And it wasn't included within the TCA. So France has awarded loads of them in licences, you know, permits and what have you, for British fishermen to fish. If you wonder what just happened, that's my lights just went out, or most of them, because they're on a PIR. A sensor. There you go. I do have other lights in this. Obviously, as you probably know, it didn't go into darkness, which would be pretty dangerous if you're using a table saw or the planer thicknesser, or even just a chisel. It wouldn't be a great idea, no. But I do that anyway. I got the on some of the lights now on sensors, because what happens? I've got a lot of light in here, you see, and if you get distracted, say somebody comes to the door, you're leaving your lights on, then you go and do something different. They get left on for too long, and you're just wasting electricity. Might you well. So anyway, yes, there's George Eustace. We've got what was going on early this year regarding the bivalve molluscs in January, the live bivalve molluscs, because the EU did not want to accept any live bivalve molluscs that hadn't been depurated, which is basically a colonic. They put them in these big tanks. They flush the fluids around these tanks several times with filters and what have you. And the live bivalve molluscs, they do what they do. They draw the stuff in, you know, the fluids in, and then they draw back out again. It cleans them. So basically, they're empty. They have no poo in them. And that's the problem, the poo. And obviously, at the moment, well, they definitely wouldn't want it now, would they? No, all that poo, all these turds floating about. It wouldn't be great, would it? No. So that was the first stage. And the British government, at the time, had made statements saying that they were going to, well, do retaliatory measures back then regarding water. If we're talking about that, like Evian and those sort of imported waters, which I'm not too keen on imported water anyway, but you need something to replace it with. And at the moment, the UK hasn't got much regarding clean water. I know some places are probably fine, but they did test in Kent, didn't they, for they found E. coli in the water in Kent. And that makes a lot of sense, because there's a lot of shit flying about in Kent. After all, they voted for Brexit. That they did. Anyway, somehow it's managed to find its way into, well, the aquifers and into the water processing plants. And, well, I imagine, I can't obviously say for sure, but I won't be a bit surprised, considering that they've got a shortage of ferric sulfate, which is the chemical they use to purify the water. It gets added into the processed water, but also it's used pre-processed as well, you know, to sanitize the water, make sure it's non-toxic, make sure it's got no E. coli and other nasty diphtheria and whatever, I don't know. God's sake. So I won't be a bit surprised they were cutting back on the chemicals, or they just didn't have them, but they've still got to supply the water. They've got no choice. So what do? You know? And when you consider I don't know if you realise this, but in the UK, we waste around 300 million litres, 300 million litres of water a day. Maybe someone can confirm that. I'm not sure it's litres, gallons, or what it is. Is it new money or old money? I can't remember. I've got a lot of stuff in there, but it's all jumbled up, I'll tell you. That's why I never used to do live stuff, because I don't think I'm very good at it. I'm no Max Rosebear, no. Okay, what's people saying? Hello, Conservator. How are you doing, mate? How is it in Holland? $108 or two. Whoa, crikey. Is that so far, Kit Kat? 180 hours in total of sewage has been dumped. Is that since this, the last week or so? Or is that since the beginning? Because they've always done it. That's the thing we need to be clear about. It's not. This isn't new. They've always done it, but they got fined. Just like Southern Water, they got fined over 300 million. For dumping sewage, because the CSOs, which are the combined sewage outlets, basically they're the pipes that go out to the sea or into the rivers or wherever the sewage plant is, and those particular pipes. Well, they're only supposed to be used in emergencies, in case of flooding or high rainfall and stuff like that. When they think that the sewage works can't cope because there's just too much water. So, since this bill, which there was some amendments which were put in by the Commons, and these Tories, 276 Tories, was it, voted against the amendments, basically giving the privatised water authorities, not in Scotland, because as I understand it, they're pretty much public. And so it should be. Why the hell do we privatise things that we need to be in control of? It makes no sense. And besides, anyone who tells me that's a good idea to privatise something, so you're taking money out of the system, out of the budget, to put in somebody's back pocket, which should really be put into invest in the industry, or the infrastructure and what have you. I don't see how that's a very good idea. If a privatised company can run something like these Tories try and tell us, so it makes a profit, why the hell can't a public company? That makes no sense. It just means that the public company was badly managed if they can't. That's all it means. Or does it mean that the privatised company have really been cutting back on infrastructure expenditure? They haven't invested. And they clearly haven't, because, as you know, the system is antiquated. They can't keep up with modern demand. I don't know if the poo's bigger or if it's more ruddy. It could be either. Maybe it's slipping through. I don't know. But either way, it's not a good idea. We need to be investing in our infrastructure. It's so ruddy old. And that probably applies here in France as well, to be fair. But saying that, rural France generally have Therfos septics anyway, or reed bed systems. Like my local town has a reed bed system. And that is quite common in France. But obviously in the big towns, like obviously in Paris, and places like that, obviously they're going to have full-on blown sewage systems. And they too, they're not innocent, they too pump shit out. But when they need to, generally. I can't confirm that for sure, but there isn't many reports of it going on, especially not like it's going on in the UK, which is complete and utter madness. Why the hell would you pump shit into the sea and then take your kids there to paddle? Yeah, kick that bit of pink toilet paper out of the way, love. You'll be all right, darling. Yeah, don't worry about that. No. Not a great idea, I don't think, no. It's complete and utter madness. So then we have our fish. And it's not just the live bivalve mollusks. Mollusks. Have another sip of beer. That are, eating poo. The difference with live bivalve mollusks is they're filter feeders. So they store it and they hold it. And you eat them whole. That's a bit nutty, isn't it? Yeah, don't do that. Reminds me of Austin Powers when you had the still sample. It's done it again. I might just leave it. But yeah. So, I'm talking about the light, that is, obviously. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about poo. It does make me tickle. And it does. But it seems like complete and utter madness. Complete and utter madness indeed. But it's like I said, it's not just the live bivalve mollusks that take in the poo and they store it. And, the European Union wants that to be depurated, so they want it removed out of the stomachs before they can accept the live bivalve mollusks. And yes, in January, as you could remember, everyone labelled it. The EU had banned mussels, live bivalve mollusks, from the UK since Brexit. No, they didn't. They just didn't, they'll only accept live bivalve molluscs that had been depurated. And the problem for the UK is they have no facilities. There's some very small facility, some small outlets who sell them themselves. They'll have a very basic systems themselves. Probably a bucket with a bit of flour and water in it. So we used to do, the old cockles, if we went cockling. But no, the EU would not accept that. No, they don't want live bivalve molluscs having been depurated. No, yes, you can say, okay then, like the British government said, I know, we will give you a part of the fund, what was about 100 million or something, to be able to build these depurating plants. And this was DEFRA. Well, they're idiots, because it's not as simple as that. Oh, God, I just remembered. It's George Useless, isn't it? He's in charge of DEFRA. That was his suggestion. Well, that was a stupid suggestion, because the problem comes is that before Brexit, that Britain was allowed, or the United Kingdom was allowed, other than obviously Northern Ireland, because it's obviously different. Yeah, Northern Ireland Protocol or something, wasn't it? Something called, yeah, I think that's right, isn't it? Well, before Brexit, they sent over their live bivalve molluscs, just caught and took them to, or landed them in the EU. And the EU would then, or a processing plant in the EU would then process the live bivalve molluscs. The problem now is, live bivalve molluscs now would now have to be shipped to the EU, depurated. And what does depurating do? It strips their gut. It takes any food that's inside them out, including the poo. And the E. coli, you would hope. And because of that, they die. The shelf life is very much reduced of these live bivalve molluscs. And needless to say, they can't get from port after they've gone through customs, which could be a delay. And then they've got to be transported to the cellar. You know, it would be a restaurant or on a little fish stall somewhere or whatever. And they don't last. No, they die. And because they die, there was many people who basically there was many to say we don't want them. Yeah, people who were long-term customers to say we don't want your live bivalve molluscs anymore because they're dead, or they don't look very healthy. And the same applies to fish and various other seafoods because there's a delay now. Like, for instance, lockfin langoustines, the guys who drove down to London. They drove around Westminster a couple of times. That they did. Got a fine, about 300 odd quid. And then they drove back to Scotland. Now, I can't remember his name, but the guy from Lockfin Langoustines, he did post on Twitter, I've put on previous videos before, we're going to go to Westminster. If you don't sort this out, we're going to dump rotten shellfish at Westminster. They bottled it. I tell you who won't bottle it, and that would be the French. No. They are the king of protesters, they are, I tell you. You wait. Yeah. But I won't be surprised, considering everything that's been going on, and considering another 75 odd fishing licenses apparently have been awarded to French fishermen. I could say all of a sudden the problem being ironed out, and then, no sanctions are imposed. I can see that happening. Because the British government, they might be doing their Saber out there and want to try and impress their horde. You know, all those idiots that vote for them, who put the cross in the wrong box, that they do. Again and again and again. Well, they want to suck up to them. They want to keep them on side. They want to show strength. But no, they have no choice. I don't think the British government have much choice, but to actually, relax and just say, sorry, here you go. Here are your licences. I can see the British government saying to Jersey, get them out quick. Because shit's going to hit the fan. More shit. There's poop everywhere. Watch out. God, I bet. That's what I think is going to happen, and it looks like it's going to. But if it doesn't, oh my God! If the UK is imposing these sanctions, forget Christmas. Forget it. You're not going to get anything. Isn't great, is it? No. Because at the moment we've got checks. I do think they've got checks, but there are still checks. Delays. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having supply chain issues other than the lorry driver shortages. Oh yeah, that's because of Brexit as well. I know they tell you otherwise. It's all due to the pandemic. Oh, down to wages. Oh yeah. Although the wages for the lorry drivers were pretty darn shit, and the conditions were pretty darn shit. And I didn't know that until I started talking about it. And I had various lorry drivers contact me personally as well by direct messages on Twitter and what have you. But also, I had a lot of comments and what have you in my videos I was making because I didn't know. I hold my hands up, But I do listen because I actually read my comments, Oh my God, there's 99 people watching. I didn't notice. So let me have a look at the comments. Talk about the comments. Let's have a little chat. What are you guys saying? Oh, Eric's going to do a live show. Hi, John. Oh, hello, Eric Fav. Is that Favre or Fav? Oh, got Eric, yeah. Well, he does tend to leave some, strange comments on my videos as well. You find Max a lightweight? I think he's diplomatic, Max. If you talk Max Robespierre, he's quite diplomatic. Oh, you talk about Max, not me. Oh, I see. I'm sorry, but Max Robespierre is a really lovely guy. Oh, there goes my compressor. By the way, I have a compressor next door. Oh dear. I'm sure, Eric, if you contact Max, if you think there's a problem with his shows, what have you, his recordings, you think he's repeating, tell him. He's a really, really lovely guy. He really is. I've spoken to him quite a lot, and out of everyone that I know, not everyone, but out of the ones who have got really good subscriber ratings, Max is one of the nicest by far, by a long way. Oh my God! I didn't realise. I forgot about Max's streaming. Is he streaming now? Is he? Conservator. And Graham as well. What's Graham do the parlay? Oh, blimey! Is it taxing up for you? Is it? Oh dear. That's probably my accent. That don't help. G2G. Talk to you later. Okay. Fact not fiction. Oh God. Hey, diddling. I'm loving your videos, by the way. They've got Macduff. Are you talking about the ship? David. Oh, by God, there's loads of comments. In fact, George used to lie to the fisherman before the TCA. He did. That's very true. End of the day, and the man, he turned his back on the EU, doing the Ode to Joy, didn't he? Doing their national anthem as well. He was one of the henchmen for Nigel Farage, that he was. And Widdicombe was there too. I can't make my mind up if she's a henchman or henchwoman. I can't tell. Either way, she's a scary, well, yeah, dare I say it. Oh. Yes, that is very, that's a very valid point, fact not fiction. He did. I actually did a video about that a while back regarding the letter that he sent. And it was an outright lie, and it was dated incorrectly. He's a smarmy geezer. He really is a smarmy geezer. He was in UKIP, and then obviously Brexit Party, and then enlisted by Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson, Spafford Johnson. Poop Island, that is, Londoner, definitely. You really think he's behaving as a populist? I don't really see that. I live here in France, and I do follow him quite a bit, Macron. Because in the day, I live here. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say he's a populist playing to the crowd. He's just dealing with a situation at the moment. He didn't create the situation. You've got to remember that. This is not of Macron's doing. This is down to the British government. Yeah, that's very true, Peter. I've heard 2 MPs say that the French must stick to the agreement that they signed. Oh, pot kettle black. That's what I would say. Yeah, Phil's actually, yeah, Eric, I agree. Phil, I tell you what, I do watch Phil's videos. I do. Because he's very, he's better than me, obviously. You know, he's been doing it for a long time. And he's got one of them brains that can, like, multitask and what have you, multitasking, multi-layered. His information is really, really good, but I can't watch him. I listen to him, but I can't watch him. Sorry. He looks like he's dead. I'm starting to wonder if he's, well, digitised. Like Lawnman Man. I don't know what's going on there with this colour. Yeah, he's very Lucy, what's that? You think Anne Widdecombe's religious beliefs are at odds with her personal life? She says these things just to, to satisfy her hoard. She's got a certain following, and those kind of people, they do have quite a religious following, don't they? Look at the DUP, for God's sake. Half these people don't believe in it. Look at Blinken Trump. He went there and he gas locals just so he could get to the blooming church and stand there for a photo shoot and hold his Bible. He's not religious. Not in a slight, he don't believe in any of it. But his hoard does. Yeah, I know. You're right, Kit Kat. It's just there's lots of things that Macron had done that has been. I'll tell you what I was told by my French teacher. He told me when just after Macron got in, he said to me that the French, they want change, but they don't want change. So there Macron does. He tries to make a change, and all of a sudden they hate him for it. Unlike Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson, he'll bring you death, and they'll love him for it. What movie did I steal that from? Oh. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, he's Phil. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. For all I know about Phil is that he creates some really good content, very well researched content, and he's pretty much, regarding his analysis of stuff, he's pretty much on the ball. I just find it really difficult to watch him. Sorry. I just hope he can get it sorted out, because he built that new studio in his garden because he sort of evolved from the house, so to speak. And his sound isn't always that great. Mine isn't, to be fair. I've got my little microphone on here. I don't even see that there. So I'm on the radio mic. But I think it's the green screen. I think what's happened is the green screen, and he's probably using chroma key via OBS software, and it just rips all the colour out of you, because everybody's got a bit of green in them. And all OBS software does, it takes the green, chroma key, removes the green. So it removes your background. But also, if you've got a bit of green in you, it removes that as well. You've got to be really careful what you wear and stuff like that as well. So you've got to be, talk about green screens, I do have one over there in my workshop. But I hate it. There's a reason why I hate it. I don't like anything that's fake. I hate liars, obviously cheats. I've been subject to enough of them, and I don't like fake. Like, for instance, a bit of wood. If you've got a bit of wood, it should be a bit of wood. If you've got a bit of formica, look like a bit of wood, don't have it look like a bit of wood, have a bit of formica. I don't know, coloured or whatever. Make it pretty, I don't know, sparkly even. But I just hate fake. I really do. Anything that's fake, I'm not a lover. But yeah, but you know, I don't want to knock Phil. He doesn't. The only thing I would say about Phil, he doesn't. I've tried to contact him so many times, he never responds. And as you probably know, if you watch my videos, you know I do my very, very best to reply to comments, what have you, or at least very much I do read them. Cheers, Ginger Giraffe. I do have a fairly cool background, don't I, really? I do try and find my background, because I'm very fortunate. I do live in a very nice place too. I'm not in the city. I'm not in the suburbs of my old town, Norwich. I live in a very picturesque place. I'm in rural France, and it is lovely. Rolling hills, and there's cows, and there's sheep, and farmers with their tractors. They run my dogs over, and stuff like that, But I do try to obviously make various little areas. Not make areas, because this is an area that I use. This is my workshop. Yeah, I suppose you're right, really. I suppose I don't need to. But I have played with a green screen before. If you probably noticed, I did a few videos using the green screen when I was doing my funny graphics and stuff like that. But I've told myself I have to refrain from that a little bit, because those videos used to take me 4 to 6 hours each to make. You've got to write your script. You've got to actually make the video in front of the green screen, or whatever type of it. You've got to do all the graphics, you've got to do all the Photoshop work, then you've got to compile it all together, you've got to edit, do all your chops. And Conservative will tell you, so you've seen it, there's this ridiculous amount of cuts. I could have 100 to 150 cuts in a video. For a video that's about 5 minutes long. And I wouldn't necessarily get any more views than I get just doing this, or doing the videos I've been doing more recently. I think as long as I can make sure there's some interest in it and some information in it that people find interesting, or my delivery, because I'm a bit crazy, maybe a bit over the top, but that's just me. I can't help it. Sorry. Martin. Phil. He's a teacher. That's very true, and I think he still does some teaching work as well, doesn't he? So yeah, he is very. The way he brings it over, he's very, very good. I'm plugging Phil, really, apart from the fact he looks like he's dead. Sorry, Phil. But no, he's all right. Yeah. What else you saying? Eric. Oh, cheers, Eric. So where Brexit is concerned, it turns out that you really can't polish a turd. No, you can't. You'd have to put lacquer on it first, or maybe you've got to dry it out first. A little bit of filler. Write down, go through your grades of carborundum paper, and then several coats of lacquer, and then maybe you could polish your turd. I don't see many people doing that. I did consider actually maybe doing maybe you could batter one, deep fry it, like a Mars bar or a Snickers in the chip shops like they were doing. I think that was it Scotland or somewhere up north. Mad Monk. Oh, thank you, Mad Monk. You like my non-edited videos. Oh, that's good. Because I was really worried about it, to be honest, because I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing. You know, when you get put yourself in this box, and you don't really know whether or not it's the right decision to break out of that box. Are you going to upset people? Do they expect certain things from you? But I just, like I say, I had no choice. Went to Ginger Island in the Caribbean, if you don't know already, and I was there for 6.5, nearly 7 weeks I was there for. Believe you me, it was not easy. Graham's a lovely guy, but there's a little bit of a clash of personalities. Yes, I had words at times, but there you go. But on the whole, yeah, he's all right. He's not a bad chap. But yeah, that wasn't I couldn't obviously edit my videos, so it was something. That was a direction I had to take, so I did. Although most of the time I'm just sitting on the boat dock taking videos, because that's pretty much where I was stuck most of the time. It was like a prison. Yeah, it was like Alcatraz. There was no boat to get off. The only time we got off was obviously when we went shopping for stuff. So I took that opportunity every time. I wasn't going to swim 10 kilometres. No, I can't swim that, but my feet are too small. I'll never make it. No. Well, the swimming there was actually really, really nice around the actual island itself because you've got this bioluminescence. So when you're paddling in the dark, it glows, literally. As soon as you disturb the water, it glows around you. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, but fish. Oh my God. So what? How about a collab with? He probably wouldn't do one with me. I can't see that. What's happening there? Oh, I can't scroll down anymore. Why can't I scroll down on my chat anymore? I'm going the wrong way, that's why. Oh, cheers, Martin. I wasn't sure about the 1 minute ones either because the thing is, because like YouTube puts an advert in the front of them. I've got like a general thing on my channel, and I didn't know if I've done an advert in the front of a 1 minute video. It just seems madness. But it was really geared towards the YouTube Shorts platform, which is a bit like TikTok, and they don't have any ads there. Oh, Steve, say how you diddling. Yeah, I do. I do actually have on my recent videos. I do actually have a script, as you probably realise. If I have a little ramble, it's always at the end. I think most people have gone by then. Oh, you prefer the 1 minute ones? Okay. I suppose it gets a point out, don't it? It's a bit of information that's done and dusted and gone. You can move on to something else then if you want. The only problem with it is that it does give you an opportunity to obviously put more videos out, but the problem with that is that you only get 3 notifications a day with YouTube. So if I keep putting again and again and again, only 3 of my videos will send a notification out. So a lot of them don't do very well. Hi there, Constance. How you diddling? Yeah, it's nomad. You are right. They are very short, and they are really just they are just literally a headline. But it's quite hard. You've got to try and squeeze. They're actually really hard to do because you've got to squeeze a lot of information in a very short period of time, and also you've got to try and deliver that so it's relatively sort of coherent with my weird accent. Will I ever go back? If he gets a boat, maybe. But as it's probably not at the moment. No. It was really, really tough. And the story is basically, Graham asked me if I'd go. I was humming and hawing about it. I thought, no, that's not. I don't think it's a good idea. That's what I was pretty much saying to myself. I told Caroline, and then she tells me, "Don't be stupid, do it." So I did. And it's like, but then I think she regretted it because she was getting a bit lonely towards the end, and I decided that it wasn't. It was. I wouldn't do it again at the moment. No, definitely not. Especially that long. And also, it was a little bit. How to put it? It was disorganised. I can't deny that. Very disorganised, but also, I don't like doing things like that. In the sense that it was. I want to do things properly, within reason. I don't mind stretching a little bit, but it was it was uncomfortable for me, to be honest. So I left 6.5 weeks later, but that was kind of like the planned date anyway. So I did it. Done it. It was an experience. I'm glad I helped him out, and I'm sure he is too. But at the moment, I don't think I'd go back at the moment. No, not even next year. And besides, it's not fair on my family, and definitely not fair on Caroline, and it wasn't fair on my dogs because they don't understand. They don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, I've disappeared, and we're like that. We are, yeah. We're very close, me and my dogs. So, but okay, I've digressed. Fishing. So we've got live bivalve mollusks. They can't be exported into the EU, which we talked about. We've now got problems with the fish itself. Who's going to want to digest British fish when that too is eating poo? You're not going to try and tell me that some of that stuff isn't getting digested and end up in the flesh. We know plastics do. The microplastics, the fact that plastics degrade into smaller particles of themselves and end up in the flesh of these fish They've done various tests. They've done tests on people and found microplastics. So it's not very good to be eating poo-eating fish either. I wouldn't have thought. They're not going to be healthy. No. And nor are the surfers, such as the guys who've been protesting. And the organisation, the charity, which is Surfers Against Sewage. Those guys, they go out there, they do, surf up and down, they do their thing, I don't know, pirouettes and whatever, I have a clue, the turnpike or whatever it is. I've never done surfing, no, you probably tell. And they're coming back, and they either end up in the hospital or having the trots. Because they've got E. coli, or dysentery or something, I don't know. It ain't great, is it? For God's sake, who on earth thinks it's a good idea to shit on your doorstep? Because that's what's happening. They're pretty much shitting on their doorsteps. A lot of shit. God, better. And everything's digesting it. We're in to digest. Well, I'm not. I'm in France, but we're not digesting it. Or you are. It's ending up in your tap water. They found it in Kent, in the tap water in Kent. They haven't got the ferric sulfate because of supply chain issues. I do have a little bit of suspicion that the British government have used that as an excuse. Because if they wanted to get the ferric sulfate, they could get it. They've already said, we're going to get the military involved to supply the petrol stations with fuel. Actually, it's a good point, actually. Is there still problems regarding the supply of petrol? Or have they actually sort of softened that one a little bit now? I imagine there must be still some shortages, but I haven't heard much about them being big coups and people fighting on the forecourts again. So I imagine that one's pretty much sorted. I hadn't actually followed that one, to be honest. Not recently. Maybe somebody knows. Please tell me in the comments or the chat. Yep, that's very true. That Britain had a very high rating for their water around the bathing waters around the UK, and now they haven't. The other problem they've got is a lot of the testing that's been done. A lot of the testing that was done on the waters is old data, and that the EU's a bit more recent data that isn't really relevant anymore. They haven't tested it. Is that right, Eric? You were brought up in Kent, hence your shitty mental state. That's very good. Oh no! We don't. No. Just don't talk anything that's technical. Constance, don't worry about it, darling. I'm not worried about what's that, widgets and stuff. Leave Constance alone. I'm Glasgow kid. Sorry. Very good. That's a good point, actually, Kit Kat. Did anyone get sick at the Oyster Festival in Whitstable? Were the oysters deteriorated? Were they? There are still some Class A waters around the UK. I think they're more towards Ireland, to be fair. Can I saw to a ribbon? Now I sharpen all my saws myself. I've got various saws with a bit on the end of the bench here as well. And I use little saw files and I sharpen all my own saws. Do it the old way instead of keep buying saws that, quite frankly, got a terrible set. E. coli just means pre-digested. That's right, Glasgow Kiss. If they're from Class A waters, they can still be exported into the EU, whereas at the moment, there's very few Class A waters. Seriously, at the moment. I don't think there's any now, I wouldn't have thought. And also, who's doing the testing now? That was done by a European Union body. So I lived near Belfast, and the government was to allow the EU personnel to be stationed at the docks to check goods coming into Northern Ireland, and facilities were to be built to assist. Yes, but then they got sent away. They were getting a lot of grief, though, weren't they? A lot of threat, probably paramilitary threats and what have you. Eric, yeah, no worries. Great to have you, mate. How did I learn carpentry? My father. My father was pretty much a master craftsman, boat builder, and anyone who does boat building will know that is one of the toughest kinds of carpentry because you're dealing with compound angles, what have you, compound joints. What I mean by that, they're all different angles. Everything's a different angle because a boat's a funny shape. Why can't it just be square like a barge? But yeah, no, it's my father. I used to help my father a hell of a lot, and I worked with my dad quite a lot. And I've always been interested in woodworking. From going from school, then into doing my city and guilds, and from that really. And it's just kind of like it's always been with me. But that's not the only thing I've done. I got a degree in photography, and I qualified as a MVQ3 in brickwork, drainage, and all that, and scaffolding. So there's various stuff I've done over the years, as sort of the hunt for money, really. Oh, that's a better trade to be in, and you realise it's not. And pretty much always go back into woodworking. And I also trained as an electrician, into 17th edition. But in France, they don't recognise the UK qualifications as an electrician, really. Partly because the UK uses, well, I don't know if they do anymore, but they use a ring main system in the UK, whereas in France they use a radial system for the sockets, which in my mind is safer. So yeah, I am going to love you and leave you in a minute. Not just yet, but I will soon. The floaties, yeah, there'll be plenty of them. So there are so many filter feeders in the mussels. Of course, you got whelks, and you got cockles, clams, mussels, oysters. What else is there? There's loads of them, isn't there? Different filter feeders. You know, all those would need to be depurated, so they can't be shipped anymore. And now we've got this blooming ship that's being held in France. It's Le Havre in France. It was boarded. It wasn't targeted. It was just boarded because of just checks, just random checks that they were doing at the time. And now it got stuck, and now he's likely to get criminal action against him. But also the other boat that was there was being a little bit arsey. He wouldn't allow the police to border control to board his vessel, so he got heavy fines. Now some are saying that it could be because the French were pretty peeved. That's why it made a bit of an issue about it, because this particular boat is like 3 times as big as most of the other scallop trawlers. It's a big old thing. It's about 111 feet. That's quite long in new money. And that particular ship, well, scraped all the bottom, pretty much taken all the scallops, and the French fishermen were being pretty pissed off about it because they can't fish. A lot of them are not able to fish the Channel Islands and Jersey and what have you because of it. Because obviously they ain't got the licences, or the licences haven't been awarded, and then you got this British ship coming in and scooping up all their blooming fish. Because the French have issued their licences. It's a bit of a piss take, really, isn't it? So that's not great now. Anyway, I hope you. Oh, hang on, before I go, I must make sure I've checked everybody. Yes, mud. Filter feeds are mostly in Parliament. Oh God, they're bottom feeders. They are. David Harris, they are. I don't have an EU passport. I've got a British passport at the moment, and it's still valid for 3 more years. I would like to get, obviously, an EU passport, obviously. I would like to get French citizenship. To the extent I'd even give up my British citizenship if I had to. Sorry. Mollusks, yes. That's very true, actually. Because yeah, I talked about it in another video actually, where you're right, Glasgow. All this shit that's getting pumped. The volumes of shit that get pumped. Eventually, it's going to spread, isn't it? You know, we've got tidal waters. These waters are not. They don't. They don't stay still. No. And also these the fish that eat this stuff or digest this stuff, they also going to be carrying this stuff all over the bloody place. We're talking about pollution over, not just in the UK. It's going to be around the EU, right into the Mediterranean. It's going to be everywhere. It's not funny, is it? And then we've got the COP26. Coming to the COP26, what an embarrassment! And it looks like he's backtracking a little bit on it, because the poo element of this particular bill is only a really small part of the bill, and that's what these Tories do. They hide little bits of legislation within a much bigger package, like they did with the harms bill, and like they've done with the one about protest and what have you. Mustn't make a disturbance. You mustn't be creating an annoyance. Not that madness, is it? But yeah, it's shit will travel, Yeah, we got the Cod Wars. We just had the so-called sausage wars. Wasn't much of a war, though, was it? Take a bathtub, fill it with water, place something to act as islands in, then drop a single drop of red food colouring into the water, and then watch. Yeah, good point. And then you've got water that moves as well. It seems like water starts, moving, which it does. You've got your ebony tides and all that sort of stuff. Stuff is moving all the time. It's going to travel with it. And the more that gets put in, the further it's going to travel. Yeah, it's an odd one. That we weren't quite clear what's going on there. They're saying that the boat was issued a licence, but then it was removed. So it was on the list and taken off the list. It seems a bit crazy. What really? That's what George Eustace said. What's really true, I don't actually know, because he is a known liar, as you know. So yeah. So I'm just going to give you a little last formal workshop. Get the light back on. So, let's say this is my tool cabinet. There we go. I need all my chisels, various other bits of kit, like for instance, various gauges, verniers, what have you, my mallets. And plane-wise, what we have, well, I've got quite a few planes, yes. And these aren't all of them, sorry. We've got a number 7 jointer, number 6 jointer. Got a jack plane. Well, that's a 4 plane actually, it's not a jointer. 4 plane, jack plane, various smoothing planes. I've got this one here, which is a scrubbing plane. I've got this one here, which is quite cool. That's a compass plane. So the bottom, the sole, it bends it. So if you're doing curves, like when I was doing a boat build and what have you, and do the gunnels, rubbing the strakes around the front of the gunnel, you can then go with the curve. That's a great bit of kit, that is. Rebate planes, various block planes, what have you. Another little compass plane here. And then more chisels. My sharpening station. There's carbide. These are silicon carbide. And this one here is a Waterstone. And then I've got the diamond sharpeners. And through here, ding, 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 ding. I'll show you my other messy workshop. Sorry, I haven't swept this one up, no. So we've got oil here. And then here we've got another workshop here, which I generally use for processing timber. This is my little rail saw that I made. And this is a Makita 9.5-inch skill saw that runs along the rail. And when you cut a log and you've got the bark on it, you've got the wane edge. That's what it's for, it takes the wane edge off. So then I can then run that piece of wood through my table saw. I've got a spindle moulder here, which I don't really use anymore. I was using it mainly when I was doing my windows. I don't need it. But dust extraction, we've got filters. Got a little microclean filter here, which is operated by my little try here. Oh. Then we've got another one over here, another filter there. And my vacuum system is quite interesting, actually. It's not in the workshop, no. I've got a centralised unit. The actual vac is through there. I've got a big workshop vac through that workshop. But I have this thing up here, which is quite cool. That's a vortex. Think of like a Dyson, and that basically the dust, you turn it on here. So that way I haven't got the noise in here from the vacuum. You just get very, that kind of air noise. And the dust gets sucked up the pipe on that boom arm up there into the tub. It spins around, slows down, ends up in this tub. And very little dust goes to the filter of the actual vacuum cleaner. Works really, really well. So what else we got? What else we got? Oh dear, there's all sorts of stuff, but that'll end up boring you, I'm sure. Obviously my lathe, I'll show you that. Oh, and over here, if you watch Ginger Island, you watch me using a router to make those signs. Well, like this sign here, my Wally Boss, which was my woodworking business, I made on this, and this is a scroll saw. So it's a 24-inch deep scroll saw. This thing is flipping heavy. Cast iron, really heavy. But I use a router for ground signs on Ginger Island, one similar to this one. But what I did want to use was one like this one, which is literally just, you can pretty much write with it if you want. It's a brilliant thing, that is. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you, because I need to write some scripts for tomorrow. Do a bit more research and see what's going on in the world. Some more madness, I bet. Maybe you know. Please leave it in the chat. All right, okay, well, last little look. Bye, Kit Kat. Oh, Scotland's not the source. Oh dear, okay. Are you talking about the poo? Yep. Yeah, Nomad, when I was doing my day skipper, and then my yacht master, but when day skipper especially, when we were doing a thing called vectors, and vectors are basically, you create like you chart your course to your waypoints, but you have to remember that you're on a moving road effectively, because the sea is moving all the time. So you have to assume that if you're facing that way, your heading is that way, you won't end up over there. No, you'll end up over there because the sea will take you there. So you have to work it out on what we call vectors. Quite complicated. We use now like an almanac and what have you to work all that out. But these days, people use all electronics, don't they? You know, it's a green screen. I do miss a boat. You're welcome, Simpkins. Ocean currents. Byline times. They're quite good byline times. There's some posh people on there, though, aren't there? I've noticed. Not like me, I'm not posh. Bye, Mad Monk. You have a good night too, Barry. See you, Stefan. I'll try. P. Dulles. Is it P.E. Dulles? Oh dear. Some funny names. Yes, it was. You have a good evening there. A good weekend. Oh God, it's a weekend already. It's Friday today. It's been a week since I left Ginger Island. Bye, Sturt. Ah. Yeah, I see this is Nomad's point there. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Glasgow, but you're going to have some British shit coming your way. Enjoy. Oh, dear. Oh, cheers, Geraldine. Yeah, I'll do my best. I'm not sure I'm great at it, but, hey, I'll give it my best. Maybe I should structure it a bit more. Maybe I should have some topics and stick to them. Instead of digressing. But I do that. I haven't even finished my beer, you know. Yeah, look. It's very nice, that is. Nice ruby beer. Better than that shit I was drinking on Ginger Island. Oh my God. It's worse than Carlsberg, that was. I had some beers there, actually, with Graham. And that was like drinking a fizzy pot. I looked at the percentage, it's like 2.5%. What the hell was that, I thought? Sorry. Oh, that's about right. Yeah, Graham, I'll have words with you, Graham. What the hell are you thinking? I leave and you buy yourself a new mattress. The cheek of it. That blooming mattress I had to sleep on was oh my giddy aunt. That's not much more than a blooming like a lounger cushion. But that thick. The time we sat on it was like that thick, and the bed that was on, the gaps between the slats were like that. Seriously. So the mattress was doing this. God and Bennett. Oh, so Graham's got himself a new. I bet he's sleeping like a log now, isn't he? But there again, I'll tell you what, that won't make any difference. He'll be sweating like a pig, and his mattress will stink. No matter what mattress he's got, no, it's still going to stink. Washing the dishes. I'm glad it was help. Nice cognac. Oh, I'm not that far from Cognac, actually, where I live in France. It's only about an hour and a half away. I've got a little story about Cognac when I stayed there in the camper. Yeah. There's a drone airport there. Yeah. And there happened to be an air next. No, it wasn't an air. That was actually, we stayed at it's a Cognac place. So we stayed there and did a tour around the Cognac factory, or what I like to call it, the distillery. And we stayed, anyway, I thought I'd fly my drone. So then I was flying my drone, I looked down, and there was more drones, military drones. God, I came down really quickly. If I saw that, I'd have been in France. You can go on and they tell you whether you can fly there, how high you can fly, or, you know, it's complete. It's a really good site, actually. But anyway, I digress. I did shit myself. Oh, more shit. Hey, Eric. Ah, good night. Bonsoir. Oh, don't talk to me about scuba diving. Blimey, I went scuba diving in the Caribbean with Graham Hughes and the instructor and what have you. I couldn't push the pressure out of my ears. I'm still I've never got sussed. But yeah, that really bugged my ears up. I think it's like wax or something just fell over on top of my eardrum. Anyway, I'm mumbling on there. I did say I'm going to go, didn't I? A drone, you know, military airport where they fly drones from, Eric. Yeah, military drones. Yeah, needless to say, I shouldn't be flying my Geraldine, but yeah, needless to say, I shouldn't be flying my drone over military. Yeah, they're taken off. Yeah, and they were taken off. There's literally just a big, thick hedge between me and that airstrip. Yeah. I wasn't my brightest moment. No, it wasn't. I should have checked. I'm just getting carried away. Oh, okay, McGeraldine. You think that's funny, do you? Right. That he's got a mattress. Is it because he's got a new mattress, or because I had to sleep on a lumpy one? Oh, dear. Oh, nice one. All right, guys. I am going to... Oh, okay. Oh, no. Hang on. Most likely have a drop of water deep in your air canal. Quite possibly. I've been using olive oil and a bulb thing and for ages. And there's loads better now. I did that yesterday. Loads better. Because yesterday it actually really hurt. Like I had earache. But yeah, it was just very, very, very uncomfortable. Yeah, Eric, I'd have been better off an air mattress, to be honest. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to love you and leave it. I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. And those of you who did, I don't know if it's a super chat or what it is. It's just, I didn't show as a super chat in the chat at all, which is a bit odd. No, it hasn't. Normally you get like a little thing say you got a super chat, but I've got this up top here. Don't tell me where it's from. But whoever give super chats or payments or whatever they are, I don't know. I would like to thank you very much for that and thank everybody who's been watching and we had over 102 viewers. It was blimey hell, a little on me. Seems like madness. You're like crazy, aren't you? Yeah, and I've sort of been waffling a bit towards the end. Oh god, yeah, that's a good point. Actually, as they migrate, they get eaten by larger fish. Third Reich. Yeah. Sorry. That is Tommy Gunn. That's actually probably a really, really valid point. Actually, tell you something I'd like to visit again is the Outer Hebrides. Absolutely beautiful. That's a fair point, actually, Simon says. It's not all the Brits at all. There's some very lovely, lovely, lovely people. But there are also a lot of mad ones as well. What's a chunky mug, Patty? I'm confused. Very true. Meanwhile, Bollocks Johnson tries to make it all about him, and yes, he does. But that's what he does. He diverts. He stonewalls all the time. Like what's going on with this blooming fishing boat. People are not looking at anything else at the moment. No, they're all going on about, war. It's going to be war. You got what? Andrew Bridgen, and this little, and the guy with the fake hair, the blonde, other blonde. He want to be like Boris Johnson, doesn't he? Got his name now. Fabricant, Michael Fabricant. Or did Boris Johnson model himself on him? I don't know. Either way. They were talking about war, effectively. Mate, punish the French, they were saying. Punish the French. Yeah, right. Good luck with that one. Tell the French to flick the leggy off. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. I really don't. They could say they sanction it. What they'll do? They'll have to put the price up. It would just become more expensive. Well, someone said about hydrogen peroxide. What is hydrogen? How do I get hydrogen peroxide? Do I have to get it from the pharmacy? Oh, H2O2, yeah, of course. Oh, do they? Oh, I know auction. Is that Auchan? Yeah, French, like a supermarket. Michael Fabricant, yeah, he is. It's in here. Oh, it's in hair dye. Oh. I bleach my beard, I'm getting old. Oh, cheers, Geraldine. Thank you very much. Cheers, darling. Very much appreciated. Got a super chat. Oh, lovely. Can't believe that. Blimey. If Brexit gets murdered in the forest, but nobody is around, do they make a sound? Oh, my God. He with a large toupee. Not for inside use, oh dear. H2O2. Okay, Sandy. I don't think my kids want them. I do have quite a collection, I must say. Yes. I've got all sorts of stuff. Oh, loads of digital stuff as well that I use. Such as, I don't know, just for interest's sake. I use a lot. Because sometimes woodworking has to be accurate. Such as that, And this we use to set the height of the saw blades. Very, very handy indeed, that is. So yeah, and I've got a load of other digital tools as well. I can shut it again. And got like metal detectors and stuff like that. Because if you're doing anything that's recycling work, quite often they've got nails in them. Not very helpful on you. Nice sharp tools. Anyway, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I think it's time that I, well, went inside and, actually spoke to my dear wife for a change. Cool. Anyway, thanks very, very much. I can't believe I did super chats and stuff as well. Really, really appreciate it. But that's not why I'm doing it now. Although it is appreciated, obviously. Blimey, can't believe it. I had 102 people for me. I've got a small channel. I thought that was quite amazing. So like I say, thank you for watching. And I'm prepared for war. That I am. Ta-ta.